Ladies and gentlemen, you are now tuned in to Let's Talk Battle Rap Podcast, the battle rap podcast of the world, Craig. It's been a long time since I've dropped that bomb. Oh, man, as you guys know, this is our Friday special, our KOTD Grand Prix review and preview episode. But before we get into that, let's get down to business, all right? Wherever you are listening to this on, whether it's Spotify, Apple, Stitcher, Google Play, I need you to hit that subscribe button, all right? I need you to leave us a 5-star rating. I need you to drop some comments in that joint, all right? Support your boys. It's that easy. It's free. Also, go to our YouTube, Let's Talk Battle Rap Podcast, and subscribe. We are that close to being at 1K subscribers. We're dropping content. We're dropping clips from our shows all the time. You get to hear these also on YouTube. So subscribe on that and help your boys out. Also, you know, man, LTBR Daily is on fire. We are live on Caffeine 4 days a week, Monday through Thursdays, 10:30 a.m. till noon. You know, we got the biggest, the brightest battle rap stars coming through all the time. It's me, CC, France. We dropping predictions. We dropping all sorts of news, infographics, stats. And on top of that, man, we be turning up, getting toxic and all that. But nonetheless, we're bringing you the greatest in battle rap, man. So subscribe to us on Caffeine at caffeine.tv/LTBR podcast. Once again, that's caffeine.tv/LTBR podcast for the best damn battle rap podcast in the morning. Yo, today is a great show, man. As usual, you know, Tim and I are catching up. And today we start off the show talking about the old school era of hip hop in New York City, man. We just catch up on what it was like to live through that era. We talk about fat beats. We talk about the ciphers in New York City. We talk about just running into random rappers and everything. And if you're an old head like us, you will definitely appreciate it. But if you don't give a damn about what we're talking about with this old school hip hop stuff, then you can just jump to about minute 25 or so in this podcast, and you can get straight to the KOTD content. But, you know, if you love hip-hop as much as we love hip-hop, we know that you guys are going to stick around for the entire show because we're always dropping gems. So we appreciate you guys, man. And if you want to help out the show by leaving a donation, hit up our Cash App, $LTBR podcast. We truly appreciate all of you guys, man. And now enjoy the show. Peace.
Do you know who his brother is?
His brother's a producer from Master Ace, I want to say. Look at
Lord
this.
Digger.
Yeah, Lord Digger, Shot Stimuli's brother, man. Look at this. All this random hip hop.
You know what the fuck you're talking
Come
about.
on, brother, man. I was made to do this, man. I'm telling you, man. Wow. I'm surprised you knew that. That's crazy. But then again, you over here writing all the lyrics from like 1983 and on. You know
For real, though. Yeah, and especially like New York Underground shit. Like, that was my shit. Tell everyone. New York Underground.
Oh my gosh. I could have, man, that was a whole different era. I used to be up mad late on Thursday nights listening to Stretch and Bobbito from like 1 a.m. to like 5 a.m. And then sometimes they go overtime. And mind you, we in high school. So it's like, imagine trying to go to sleep at 5 a.m., waking up at 6 and then dragging your ass to school. And then, I got that tape, yo. Did you hear that Mobb Deep freestyle last night, son?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, sleeping in class.
I was all over that. Yeah, there would have been. Did you hear about the arsonists? They were, you know, like, right? It was like groups like that where it's like, who the fuck are the arsonists? You know what I mean?
Funny enough, one of those guys from the arsonists, I forgot what his name is, but he does mad hostings everywhere. He does like mad corporate gigs. Like, it's crazy.
Oh. Are you thinking about D Nice?
Destroy.
Oh, yeah.
His name is Destroy. Yeah. No. D Nice was from Boogie Down Productions from BDP.
Yeah.
No, this dude is Destroyed. He used to go on tour like he was a hype man, not a hype man, but like a host for like a bunch of stuff. So in between all of the performers, he'd come out, hype the crowd up and all that stuff. He hosted, I remember I shot this website MCMI, I was working with them for a little bit. They had me go out and film PH's album release party. And Homeboy was hosting, and it was pretty dope. It was crazy because Cortez performed there last night. Math Hoffa performed there. Was performing there and everything. And like, it was bananas. So it's like, even then, you're still like in the midst of all this battle circuit stuff and underground hip hop stuff. Like, it's bugged how everything has come full circle. And now it's like, you know, you and I are doing the #1 battle rap podcast in the world, Craig. And, you know, back then you're just doing stuff for fun. And now it's like, oh, snap. Like, you know, getting recognized for these things and all that. You know what I mean?
Wow.
It's kind of crazy.
Destroy seems like the perfect guy because he seems like he's got so much personality.
Hell
he was doing all the crazy things with his voice and just, he just seemed like a guy.
And it's crazy, too, because back then, you literally could listen to the arsonists who were like, you know, lyrical guys, fun guys, not necessarily like, oh, I'm going to stick you up and, you know, sell 32 bricks in 2 hours and all that stuff. And then you could listen to a Nas come on that radio station right after, literally freestyle all this street stuff, and you could love it equally. You know what I mean? Like, there was so much diversity back then, man. I kind of missed that with the college radio and all that stuff. Like, you don't get a chance to do that anymore, you know?
Yeah, I think now you just gotta dig for it a little bit more. You know what I mean? Like,
you absolutely
you
have to.
Go on certain websites, you know, there's a ton of material out there, but yeah, you're right. There's nothing like on the mainstream that's like, all right, here's a mixture. Here's just dope stuff. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, here's the real popular shit, or here's the underground shit. There's nothing that's like.
There's nothing, and even with the playlist, right? The playlist is like, it's all one thing. It's like, all right, here's all your trap stuff. Here's all your gangbanger stuff. Here's all your underground rap stuff. So it's like, how am I supposed to draw in listeners from other genres? Like, I'm just going to be listening to the same people who, like, it doesn't make any sense to me. And I feel like there's a lot of segregation in hip hop now where you don't get a chance to get a melting pot for things to blend together. It's just like, listen to all of one thing and never listen to any of the other stuff. It's like they're not going to mix it up for you. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, for crying out loud, Bobbito had a record label called Fondulum Records, yo. They had a whole song about jerking off.
With Cool Keith. Yeah. Man.
Doing beef stroganoff to my Twinkie gush. I'm like, what? And then right after that, it'll be a Royal Flush record being played right after that. Yeah. You know what I mean? Now it's like, you can't get that at all. Like, it kind of sucks, man.
Man, I forgot about Royal Flush. That was Mike Geronimo's boy.
Yeah, Royal Flush was fire, man. Like, he was fire. Like, it's crazy. I think about back then and all the guys with their Queen style, and it's like, not that it wasn't all one style, but you can see how they all had similarities in their style, but each dude had their own individual version of it. Like, you know, Royal Flush, you can hear a little bit of Nas's stuff. They can share a little bit of it together. And Tragedy Gaddafi could share a little bit of it. And Noriega could share a little bit of it, you know, but they all had their own style to go with it. You know what I mean? Like, that was such a different era, man. Like, now, it's just so different now, man. Like, you can literally just copy and paste and then put your own stuff out and then good to go, you know?
Yeah, I think the samples and all that is what I like the most, man. Because the production back then was incredible, and like now,
crazy.
Now a beat, and I'm just like, dude, someone whipped that up in 5 fucking minutes. You know what I mean?
I don't got a problem if someone ripped it up in 5 minutes, but let it be fire. You know what I'm saying? Like, let it be fire, man. Like, I do miss the samples. I feel like when the samples got taken out of hip hop, lost a little bit of that soul, man. You lost a little bit of that tradition, and I don't care what anyone says. True hip hop music, not just rap music, it's got the samples involved, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, there are certain elements and ingredients that you need to have a true hip hop record, you know, and that's all of it's been, when they took out the samples and all we had was those Casio beats, man, back in the days. It was like, Jeez Louise, Papa Cheese, bro.
I know, I know, and like having those beats sometimes, I mean, like shout out to Swiss, he
Yeah.
did a lot, and a lot of his shit was great. Like I really like it, but yeah, there's a time and a place for it too, and yeah, but I get it. At the same time, who the hell is going to be paying $100,000 to sample something?
Absolutely, that's the conundrum there, man. It's like, you're missing that element. But then it's like, yeah, it does become a business after a while. And I got to give it to Swiss, man, because when he first came out, I was so backpack heavy that I was like, I'm not listening to this Casio stuff.
Right.
This is, what are you doing? What are you doing? And then after a while, I'm like, some of these beats are kind of fire. And then,
right.
And then you're like, oh, Swiss samples too. And you're like, little samples are fire. And then a lot of his original beats became even more fire. I got to remember this kid was like 17 when he started making beats. So think about anything you were doing at 17. You probably weren't the best at that time. You know what I mean?
Incredible.
Yeah, man. And now he's like one of the greatest hip hop producers of all time. And the thing is, I think about when I used to not like his beats, but he's one of the most hip hop guys though. Like he really was a DJ. He really was DJing parties. He really grew up, right there on where hip hop started with Kool Herc and all those guys, like, his older brothers and everything like that. And his family is like deep into this thing. So it's like he's truly a hip hop guy who managed to navigate those waters of no sampling. Okay, cool. And then it's like, I'm rich enough to sample now, so I'll do whatever I want. You know what I'm saying? And now I got leverage. So it's just it's crazy, man. It's crazy when you think about like all of how hip hop has changed over the years, bro.
Yeah, no, I never knew that about Swiss, that he started that young and that he was from there and had his roots and all that.
He's like a little, really like a child prodigy, man, when it came to that stuff. Like you look at those videos and stuff, I know we see a bunch of dudes lifting weights in the middle of some schoolyard somewhere and then some skinny big nose kid is there bouncing around in the back and you're like, well, he's got to be at least 25, right? He's like, no, I'm like not even out of high school yet. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's crazy when you think about it, man. You're like, damn, I'm like, this guy was my age when he was making records and I'm over here criticizing him about making records with Jay-Z. You know what I'm saying? Loser.
Right. Yeah, and weren't they all like riding around on like motorcycles and ATVs in those rough rides?
In the middle of the man, that was a whole other era, man. I was like, what the hell is this black bike gang going on? Like, I never knew brothers could have a black bike gang. I thought you had to be in like the Aryan Brotherhood or something like that to be in a motorcycle gang. I was like, what is happening here? I mean, motorcycle club, my bad,
Well, did that ever happen, like in real life? Like, do you ever like go outside Brooklyn and be like, "Oh, there's some guys going down on"?
Yeah. Like as you get older and you start to recognize, you're like, those vests that they're wearing, it's not just because they want to put their names on it. These guys are a quote unquote club. You know what I'm saying? And then you start finding the brothers who ride those, those big Harleys, not the hogs per se, but the ones with the flares on the side and all that stuff. Yeah. And like the big wide ones, you're like, oh, okay. Oh, now it all makes sense. You know what I mean? Like you guys are into this club life, And then you ride around and you'll see, little garages with a bunch of motorcycles there and a bunch of like goonish looking dudes. And you're like, okay, so there are black motorcycle clubs. Like you never knew that. You know what I mean?
No. I would have never known that.
I would have never known that. Like if you watch Sons of Anarchy and stuff like that, it's like ain't no brothers on that show. So, you would never think. I mean, there was like a one or two that end up popping up in the later episodes or whatever. But yeah, man. But Rough Riders though, like they opened up the door to that where it was just like, all right. And I thought it was just a rap thing, but then it's like you go state to state, they actually got like Rough Rider like chapters all over the country, man, where like if you pop up, and even Jin was saying it, he was like, yeah, Rough Riders really like a family. I would go on tour over here, and then as soon as I land, there's like 10 Rough Rider guys coming to pick me up, and I had no clue, and they're like, yeah, we're going to take care of you while you're out here so nothing happens to you.
Wow.
I was like, that's kind of fire.
Wild.
Yeah, I was like, this is kind of fire, man. Imagine everywhere you go, you just got like a group of, extended family, making sure that everything you want is there for you and making sure you're all right. Cause man, this rap life is crazy. You go to all these different states and stuff like that, and you're just anywhere, anything could happen to you, man. You know what I'm saying?
Bird. Jin will be the first to tell you that.
Yo, can you believe it? Jin was on Rough Riders, man.
That's like during their heyday too.
Bro, I remember watching that 106 in Park. He's killing everybody, and then funny enough, Rough Riders is like hosting the last battle and stuff. And then they're like, "Oh, we got the chain for you." I'm like, "Oh yeah, like the fix wasn't in already, right?"
Right,
like, like he was really gonna lose this battle. You know what I'm saying?
But I think the most amazing part about that is like they actually came through with it. You know what I mean? Like Rockefeller did that shit with on MTV. They're like, "Hey, whoever wins this battle, signed to Rockefeller," and that never happened.
Right, exactly. It was like, yeah, okay, like
fuck
sure.
Off.
Yeah, like, well, we got a Beanie Siegel album to put out. Sorry, kid, beat it.
Yeah, we ain't trying to recognize from Florida. Fuck off. We don't care.
Yo, I mean, Jin actually had a whole. He had a single produced by Wyclef. He had one of the most firest beats from Kanye West and a feature on that joint. Like they actually try to make it work. It's just.
Yeah.
I mean, it didn't work, but they tried though. So I got to give them that, man. And, speaking of battle rap, it's just like Rough Riders was really into that battle and stuff. I just watched an interview with Bathgate. He used to be called Billy Bathgate back in the days from Kid from Harlem or whatever. And, he was on all the DVDs back in the days and stuff like that and the different ciphers and everything. And it was on a Queens Flip show and Flip the Script, and he was talking about his battle rap history and he battled Gilly the Kid and all these people, and then one time he went up to the DMX How's It Going Down video shoot, and the Rough Riders were out there and they just had like the whole squad of pups that you had to battle before you can get to the main artist. And I think he was supposed to battle Drag On, but then Ja Rule stepped up and was like, "I'm gonna battle you, kid." And like Ja Rule battled him while he was signed. Like it's crazy. Like you hear these stories when Ja'd be like, "Yeah, I used to be battling people on there at the video shoot," and then you're like, "Oh, this guy actually like, confirmed the story that Fools was out there like actually doing it." So even the biggest rappers from back then, no matter what, had to step their feet into the battle world, man. It's bananas when you think about it. Like, but that was just the trials and tribulations of the road of becoming a real live artist. Like you had to battle. Mace was battling all the time in Harlem. Like they would talk about how the locks would come down and they'd all be in like Harlem or 125th or whatever. And, Mace, his whole crew and Big L and all these guys and all the locks and everybody, man. It's crazy, dog. Like, but now you think about it nowadays, like the biggest artists here, you think Trippie Redd is thinking about battling anybody?
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like none of these cats is battling nobody, man. Like that's why I think I still appreciate the fact that we have, Smack Them and KOTD and everybody. Like it still provides that platform, man, for people to get their bars off, because these guys out here are not trying to battle nobody, man.
Nope. Yeah, it seems like a very separate lane now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But for like back in the day, man, because you didn't have like platforms like SoundCloud or anything like that where you're like, I want people to hear me rap. Like you just didn't have it, so it's like you just always got to have some verses on deck.
Yeah.
To a crowd, and that has to help you with like your confidence and
everything.
And stage presence and all that sort of stuff, because you have been rapping in front of crowds of people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it all makes sense in like the progression of an MC or whatever.
Yeah, and it just brings your confidence level up. And I mean, you got to think about it. If you're literally outside and there's a crowd of people who don't give two rat's asses about who you are, and there's all sorts of outside activities going on, and you got to make everyone stop and listen to you. You know what I'm saying? And pay attention to what you're doing. And if you're corny, they're going to let you know. You know, and this isn't like a crowd that's paying to show up to see you rap. So they got to, let me be on somewhat decent behavior. It's like, no, man, I got some drugs to sell and I'm taking time out of doing that to listen to you rap. You better not be corny, and you better not say nothing crazy about me, because it can get real. And on top of that, I mean, whether you were doing what you said you were or not, you had to put out the perception that, look, you're going to believe this conviction one way or the other, or I'm going to be rapping so good that you're going to be like, oh, you know, I don't think he's going to do that, but man, he can rap. You know what I'm saying? Like, he can rap. I'll give him a pass because he's really good, you know?
Right.
And I think of some of these battles where these guys are, you know, saying all these derogatory things about each other's gangs and stuff like that. And I'm like, this would never happen on the streets. Are you crazy? Like, I feel like back then, if a Crip dude and a Blood dude battled each other and it was on the streets, first of all, you'd have to have some really, really well-respected guys to make sure like nothing goes down. But certain words, like when we watched the O-Red versus Geechee battle, yeah, like, bro, that's not happening on the street. Like, you're not doing all of that. Like, that's not gonna happen. Like, there's gonna be a shootout. Battle's over. You know what I'm saying? But now I guess we have a safe space. So it's like the give and the take. You know what I'm saying? Like, things just kind of change over time, man. But it's, oh, man, dude, you got me reminiscing, man.
I know it, man. Yeah, it's funny how I was just like, all right, before we start, I just got to ask Vlad about shot stimuli.
Stimuli.
15 minutes later.
Oh man, tonight when I come back home later, man, I'm definitely going back in my old school bag and watching a bunch of early 90s, mid 90s rap videos and stuff, man. I need to get my fix, bro. I definitely need to get my fix, man.
I love that stuff, man. Yeah, that's definitely like my era. You know what's really dope is one of the nights, you know, I was supposed to be interviewing Iron Solomon. It just didn't work out.
Yeah.
And we just ended up talking for an hour and a half.
Oh, wow. Fire.
Off the record, right?
Yeah.
And he was telling me about, you know, growing up in New York and, you know, listening and running into rappers like New York Underground guys that he was running into. And it was just, man, it just made me jealous of like you and him. Like, hey, just walk down the street and you just run into, you know, Nature or Fat Joe or, you know, like whatever, you know, whoever the
hell. Meanwhile, you're in Madison running into like the greatest cheesemaker that Wisconsin had to produce.
Exactly.
You're like, hey.
God, I ran into Johnson from Johnsonville Brats. So there's that, you know what I mean? You know?
Oh, the way you wrap your meat in that casing, the snap of the sausage is just so amazing.
Kind of rappers here in Wisconsin, yeah.
Oh, how do you get the spices in those brats? They're so amazing.
It ain't the same thing, you know?
Oh, where'd you get the sauerkraut from? Oh, the German immigrants that came out here. Oh, thank goodness. Oh, the crowd is so good.
Don't have that here, man.
Oh.
But hey, I remember when I went to New York, like, I don't know, it was like 12 years ago or whatever.
Yeah.
And just walking down, you know, just walking down the street in Manhattan, whatever. I'm just scanning everyone's face. I'm like, I know one thing could be a rapper that I know. I just know it. There's no way I can be in New York for 10 minutes without seeing someone that I.
Oh, you're like, oh, the Bush babies. Where'd you guys come from?
Right, yeah. Hey, it's Mr. Man. It's Mr. Man from the Bush babies. Oh my God, right. Oh, this is fantastic.
Hilarious. Oh, natural elements. Oh, I didn't expect to run into you guys. Gene Gray. Oh. Oh, can someone take me to Fat Beats, please?
No, that is the holy Mecca. That to me was the holy Mecca.
You ever been? Did you go?
No. I never made it.
I've been there, man. It was pretty. Yeah, it is, man. Because, dude, you could run into whoever there, Pete Rock, whatever, man. You just happen to just show up. Yeah, SoCon worked there. He worked there. That's crazy. Damn, man. Now think about it. Like the fact that they had battles in Fat Beats, and I think they got a Fat Beat store in LA now or something like that. You know, yeah, I want to say that, but
went under.
Yeah, Fat Beats was by Grace Papaya, and Grace Papaya wasn't too far from like Electric Lady recording studios. Like, yeah, it's crazy, man. Like I remember one time I'm just walking down 6th Avenue, and then I'm like, oh, Capone and Noriega, just randomly walking down the street. You know what I'm saying? Like, New York is just like that, man. Like, it's just, I don't know. There's no place in the world like it, man. At all, man. Yeah. Oh, Tim, man, I feel like we've been ruminating about classic hip hop days now for about 22 minutes. And I'm sure everyone is like, yeah, man, you two old geezers talking about days that I wasn't even born yet. Can you get to the KOTD Grand Prix already? We're tired of this hip hop talk. Well, listen, man. Now,
Yeah.
right, we got to give you guys the history, man. And so, now it's time to move on for our KOTD review and preview of last week's North Side Division, and we're going to preview this week's West Coast Round 2 Division. So, Timbo, let's get it started, player.
How do you want to start? You want to go with last week's first or
Yeah, my son said, yeah, let's go with last week. So, being that we've done a lot of the reviews on LTBR Daily, this week we'll run past the reviews just a little bit quick. You sure you got him, man? You sure? You got your nap? You got your rest? He was my co-host. Yeah. You want to keep him? Huh? Yeah, you want to stay, buddy? No, you take him. Okay. You take him. But I'm pretty sure at some point he's just going to go like ham, and I'm going to be like, baby, take the baby, take the baby.
Right.
He's going ham.
Save me, D, save me.
Yeah, he got his hip-hop lesson today, so he's like, thanks, Papa. Okay. All right. Oh, man, I had my son Psalm on my lap for like the first 22 minutes, giving him a hip hop lesson. And thank goodness my wife came to take him.
He's soaking it all in.
Yeah, man. And you can see he was chilling. He wasn't even acting crazy.
Man. Yeah, he was digging the vibe.
He was like, oh, New York, Shane. Yeah. On 6th Avenue, Shane. Grace Papaya. Yeah. Fatweed, Shane. Yeah. I'm going to go there when we go back to New York in November, Shane. Yeah. Take me to the spot, son. Yeah, Shane. Yeah, Flatfoot.
I'd love it if you start talking like that. That would be hilarious if you grew up.
Yeah, that's gonna be his first words. Yeah, Shane. Yeah, what the bottle, Flatfoot? Yeah, feed me, Shane. Yeah, give me that cow push. Yeah, Shane. Yeah, I'm tired of this fake milk. Yeah, come on, give me the goat milk. Yeah, give me the good stuff, Shane. Yeah, where's the Yoo-hoo? I want the chocolate. Yeah, Shane. Where's the dame that I came out of? Yeah.
Dame.
Yeah, she's going to be carrying me around, Shane. Yeah, pick me up. I want to walk, Shane. Oh, man. 1 second. Oh, yeah, man. My kid is going to sound like James Cagney when he starts talking. Dick Tracy and whatnot.
Old-time criminal, yeah.
Right. All right.
Hey,
yeah.
Yo, so the one thing I want to touch on before we get into actual battles is ACK.
Oh, hey, the floor is yours, brother. Go ahead.
Hey, man, so he's been hosting the last 3 weeks, like, right? Lush did the first week, and then ACK's been doing the others. And, at first, I don't know. I wasn't quite on board. But you know what, man? As time's gone on, I think every week I like him a little bit more. I think he does a good job trying to balance kind of entertainment, but also like, interviewing people, not running out of shit to say. He actually has some insight on actual battle rap. I thought he was doing pretty good. I thought he was. I'm kind of hoping that he's here on Sunday.
I'm pretty sure he will be, man. It seems like he's been. He's been everywhere. He went to the first. He was on the first West Coast one, correct?
I don't think so. I think Lush One was holding it down there.
Oh yeah, you are correct. It was Lush One by himself. Yeah, he was in the other 3. Yeah, you're right. I'm not sure if he's gonna be there, man, but. Baby, man, they're flying you all around the world. You taking full advantage of this joint, man.
Yeah, right?
Right, for sure, man. The only thing I would say is let the artist speak just a little bit more, man. Just a little bit more, I'd say. But no, man, he's definitely doing his thing, holding it down, man. It's not an easy job at all. I do not envy the job. You know what I'm saying? So that all those hosts that do those joints, like I don't envy it because sometimes it could be a thankless job, like you just try to make things happen and people are like, yeah, move on. Like, we don't want to see you. And then, right. Like, we want to hear the raps. And it's like, well, we got to fill in some time in between the raps. Relax.
Got to do something. Hey, and that was the other thing. I think King of the Dot's getting more efficient at this whole thing, because I want to say the end of Real Deal and Times ended at like 4:25ish. So it's like, from start to finish, it was like 2.5 hours.
Right.
Which so it started at 2:00 my time zone. So
yep.
So that was pretty good, man. For the 4 battles, it was better than the previous weeks.
Yeah, no, it's definitely they're definitely streamlining some stuff for sure.
Yeah,
man. Yeah.
So yeah, I think like Shadi and Sharon, like it was a half hour between Shadi versus Sharon and Gage versus Marv One.
Wow, that's a long time, bro.
In there. They got in there. They got the battle in there all within a half hour. It was like, all right, we know what we're doing now. Hopefully we can like keep this going, because that was the one thing from I feel like the last few weeks there are definitely some times where I'm like, why are we waiting an hour in between battles?
Right. Yeah, it's like everyone is here. What are we doing right now? Hurry up!
What is taking so damn long? So yeah,
I think everyone. Anyway, everyone is just in the back, like building a set.
Exactly. I'm like, what? Like, and that's the thing. I keep going back to Gates of the Garnet. Like, I've watched their like live, streaming show, and it's like where there are 20 battles in a day,
right?
And it's like, dude, if you have they have 3 minutes in between battles. It's like you take the mic off of one guy, you slap it on the next guy.
Hey, put the hot dog down. It's time to rap. Oh, okay.
Start rapping,
All right. Word, man. Oh, man. But overall, what'd you think about the North Side Division last week?
I thought it was pretty good, man. The Real Deal versus Times battle was, I think, if not the best battle I've seen so far, it's definitely top 2 or 3.
Absolutely, man. It was an entertaining night. Some things we got spot on. We were definitely 100% correct. And other things was kind of like, oh, I didn't see that one happening. So, who shall we start with first, man? Should we start with Gambello and City?
Yeah.
All right. Gambello and City, man. We'll run through these a little bit quickly. So, what'd you think overall about Gambello versus City? A short prep time, because we know that Joe and I couldn't do the battle. So both these guys had pretty much, about a week to put these rounds together?
7-8 days, I want to say.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And you know what? M City was flawless, and he was good, and did his rappy rap thing, which we knew he would. I mean, that's kind of his style, and he was fine. I think Joey stumbling over his stuff a little bit. It's not like he was super choppy, but he definitely didn't have like a just a flow with his material, which I think definitely hurt him. I mean, if you're judging, that's definitely an easy thing to point out, where you're just like, this guy rapped, and when he rapped, it was very smooth. This guy, when he rapped, it was choppy at some points. Smooth guy wins,
It's smooth be notorious. Glorious. Knowledge is infinite. I live in a fortress. I'm so astronomical. But on a physical plane. This is crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
I totally agree with you. But you know what? It was pretty cool to see Gambello kind of compartmentalize his rapping. It's like, first round is mad cocaine round. All coke, all first round. It was like coke. And it was like, I'm not mad at this. Then, second round, he, punches. And then third round tries to get a little bit more at his style and stuff like that. But M City just screams classic battle rap, man. Like, you could literally picture him rapping in some record store or some clothing store. Or you could put him right in the era of the Philly guys or any of those guys. And, for a week's worth of time, I definitely wasn't mad at the material. Some of the stuff was a little OBC-ish here and there, but I mean, he hasn't been around for 3 years and you guys tell him to get ready in a week. Not mad at his material at all, but definitely the stumbles definitely cost Joey the battle. If you were hedging on saying, I'm not sure which one won, it's easy, like you said, man, to just go, well, M City was very clean, so I'll give him the battle. But I kind of feel bad for Joey, man. This was like his shot to really make more of a name for himself on a national scene and, live and everything like that. And He's got so much personality, but I definitely feel like he'll be around some more. I think KOTD understands what happened, and they're not mad at what, his performance at all, and he'll be back, so. But salute to M City though, man, for being a consummate MC. I feel like even if he's not battling, I feel like he's one of those guys who will write a couple of rhymes per week just because, for practice. You know what I mean? So it's like guys like that always stand a chance. And salute to him because he wasn't as OBC-ish as Rich Dollars was in his first and third round. So maybe he watched that battle and like, it's not going to happen to me, Shane.
Man, I ain't doing any ABC schemes.
Yeah, right? I'm not going to do the alphabet when I rap, Shane. Yeah. You ain't going to catch me. Where's my fedora?
No, so hey, I picked Joey. M City won. I'm not mad at that at all.
Yeah, man. Likewise, I thought that the experience and the fact that Joey was out here battling, consistently would have helped him edge the battle. But hey, man, I ain't mad. It was a decent battle. It wasn't like he got killed or anything like that. So you win some, you lose some, but you live to fight another day. Yeah. Oh man, next battle, man. Sharon versus Shatipi.
Is this the biggest one-sided battle of the tournament?
Bro, this has to be clearly the biggest body bag of the tour. I don't even think there's been a real body bag this tournament, but this was a body bag. Call the coroners, call the medical examiner, call the funeral arrangements. Like, listen, man, get the hearse ready. You're going to drive out to wherever suburbs in Detroit and put him in a plot. That brother dead, man.
Yeah.
He dead. Like, he's gone. Like, he's not coming back. This was terrible. This was bad. Like, this was really, really bad. As Sharon predicted that he would choke. Who knew he would choke all 3 rounds? And he choked with bad material. Like, it wasn't good at all. And Sharon was fire. Sharon was the fire flame spitter all 3 rounds, man. Yikes.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking too. I know, Shotty P ended his first with the KOTD should sue you for spreading the coronavirus. And I was like, no, yeah. Sharon was really good, man. I think the first round was, kind of classic, just, punchlines and haymaker sort of stuff. And then, the second round, he was like rapping. Like, I don't think I've heard Sharon rap like that. And it was refreshing, man. It was good. And then second, Shotty's choking. Round 3, Sharon's doing I think was probably his best round. Sharon's best round.
And Sharon calls the choke out. And Shotty P chokes. And it's just like, this was nasty. But I mean, we predicted this to a T, man. We said the man ain't stand a chance. He was gonna get pulverized, and he did, man. Sharon, man, he put him in a DDT, he put him in a tombstone, he put him in a Superfly Jimmy Snuka off the top rope. Like, it got nasty, bro. It got nasty, man. Listen, Shotty P, you've gotten multiple chances with you've battled Charlie Clips, bro. You've battled Sharon. You've battled some heavy hitters, and you have not come through. And this is not meant to disrespect you at all. This is all being objective. And if we lied to you, we would be doing you a disservice. You've got to get it together if you want to continue to be in this game, man. Like, this is national exposure. This is on Twitch. Everyone's watching. You can't shit the bed like this. I mean, decline. Who the heck's calling me? I mean, yeah, man, like, you can't shit the bed like this, man. There was diarrhea all over his bed, man. The bed, he woke up, the bed was just brown, stanky.
You know what?
There was flies all over the bed. It was nasty.
It was bad. And he knew it. And at the end of the battle, he didn't shake Sharon's hand. He just walked out of the building, man.
Yeah.
I think he was just so mad at himself. And, I mean, Sharon felt bad for him, too. I think he said in a couple different interviews, he was like, he's just like felt bad for Shotty because he knows that Shotty's better than this, and what a terrible showing it was for him. And to Sharon's credit, he even said on one of his interviews, he's like, "Hey, I memorized my stuff like 4 or 5 days prior,
right?"
But he's like, "I woke up yesterday morning, I couldn't remember how to start my second round. I just blanked out." Right. He's like, "Those things happen, and this happened to Shotty just multiple times
in multiple
during
battles.
actual battles. Yeah. You know?
So it's like after a while, listen, anyone can choke. Like anyone can choke. That's not what we're getting at. It's the fact that if you're choking in multiple battles, then it's something about either your preparation or maybe performance anxiety when you get out there and the lights are on and a major opponent is standing across from you and all of a sudden it's just like brain blanks out. You're going to have to get that together if it's happening in multiple battles, man.
Right.
Yeah, man. All right, Shotty P, get it together, man. Sharon, we have no concerns for you, man. Like, come on, you're world class. We know what's going on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh, man, moving on. Marv One versus Gage, brother.
Yep. So, I thought I was disappointed in Gage in this. Like, regardless of like, you know, his choke.
Yeah.
It was still, I don't know if it was the material or just like the comfortableness, but kind of some of the stuff we were talking about last week where we're like, he's just got this swag and this style where you're like, this guy's a real life pimp. And he's happy to be battle rapping Marv One right now.
Right. He took time off the blade to come and spray some rhymes, man.
It didn't have that feel. And granted, he's not in Chicago, you know, where he's from. So, you know, some of that makes sense. But he didn't kind of bring that. We didn't see Gage at 100%, which was kind of disappointing for me because I thought it'd be really great for people who aren't familiar with him, which I think is a lot of people, to actually see him and this different kind of style that he brings to the game. Because I don't think anyone is like Gage in battle rap. You know what I mean? And so I was excited for people to see it. And so they saw him, but it's kind of this lackluster version of him.
Absolutely. And, you know, the concern that we had was, can he maintain what he did in his 1-rounders for 3 rounds? Like, can he bring that? Like, this thing can be an endurance sport at time. And when you're used to doing 1-rounders all the time and then you got to do a 3-rounder, it really can catch up to you, man. And the stuff he was saying, I liked. It was so slick and witty. You know what I mean? But it's like between the water breaks, which Gage, man, you gotta, I get it. You might get cotton mouth. I don't know what the situation is, but like he'll be in a groove. Then all of a sudden he's going to stop, untwist the cap, squeeze the water bottle, crinkle it, drink from it, bring the water bottle back, close the top. And it's like, bruh, you were in such a good groove. Why you messed it? Don't disturb this groove.
Yeah.
Come on, man. You know, and it's like, it was irritating me, you know, and Marv was dope. Like, you know, we predicted this. Marv, he knows how to rap to these crowds. He like at this point, and do not take this in a disrespectful manner. It's like a stand-up comedian who goes, yeah, these jokes will hit. This will hit. The timing on this will be great. All right, if the crowd is rocking like this, I'm going to land this joke like this. You know what I mean? Like, there's such a parallel between stand-up comedy and battle rap. And Marv, you know, he figured it out. Like, I knew that he'd have the stamina to go the 3 rounds and to outlast Gage. But his material was good too. And on top of that, let's talk about this 3rd round. I mean, people have taken, you know, little shots at Avo, but he took the time to really talk to that man and be very direct and pretty blunt in what he felt about Avocado. Were you surprised that he took that angle in the 3rd? Like, what did you think about it?
Yes and no. I think I'm sure he knows Avo pretty well. He's been with KOTD for a minute. A while. He's done a lot of events. Hey, he's not only has he battled on King of the Dot quite a bit. He's hosted events. Yeah. Which I'm thinking you're working with Avocado quite a bit when you're hosting.
I mean, listen, bro, remember when that Diz thing went down, when Diz dropped the N-bomb and he was like, Diz, like, you disappointed me, Diz. And I mean, and Diz is, you know, Lebanese, you know what I'm saying? Which is, I guess, closer to African-American than Avocado being from Colorado. You know what I mean? And this isn't a Crip gang, you know what I'm saying? So I'm pretty sure he's gotten the pass from all his homies, but Marv didn't like that. So I was like, oh, this is, you know, on par for Marv's thinking and what he doesn't like. So, you know, for me personally, I was like, yo, Marv, good for you, brother. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people are thinking it, And you really said what a lot of people have been wanting to hear. But the funniest thing is that he's like the second or third guy. When he said Avo's name, he tripped over the bar. Like, he kind of stumbled a little bit. I'm like, what the hell? What kind of curses Avo have over these guys? He's like, as soon as you say my name, you're going to stumble. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of crazy. But yeah, man, I mean, the words were definitely appreciated. He got it out. And now, you know, it's out. So it's done now. So now he can just get back to focusing on just rapping, and he doesn't have to take any time out from his bars anymore to address Avo, because, you know, as you move along, you're going to have all of the 3 rounds be focused on your opponents to continue to move on, because the competition is going to get tougher as things go along. Right. But good work from Marv, though, man. Kudos to Marv.
Yeah, he won with a pretty much 90% fan vote and a unanimous decision.
How it was not 100%, I don't know, man. Like, some of these things are weird. I'm like, who are these trolls? Or who is this 10% from, like, Chicago? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, how did Sharon not have 100%? This is crazy. Like, I don't understand that. But moving on to the final battle, the best battle, one of the best battles, if not the best battles from the tournament so far. Real Deal versus Times, brother. Wow.
So what a wild one. I mean, you know, this was one that we
wild one.
How did we do at predicting this one, Vlad?
We said that Real Deal was gonna win the battle. Like,
we were like, Times got
come on,
0.
man, he's the champ. Like, he's not gonna win. Come on, man. How the hell is Real Deal gonna lose this joint? Like, he's the champ. He can't lose. This ain't gonna happen.
Can't lose. There's no way.
Oh, we were like, Times, you better make a good name for yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't know when you're going to get a chance to be in front of this national audience again. And he showed up, man. He really showed up.
But Real Deal showed up. It wasn't like Real Deal the best Times won. Real Deal did fucking great, in my opinion. Yeah. Real Deal was fantastic. And Times he was just with them step for step. It was incredible. All 3 rounds.
You know, man, this is weird. Like, not that where you're battling should matter. You know what I mean? But I don't know. Maybe if this is in a different division, maybe the outcome is slightly different or whatever. But Times earned it. I'll say that. You know, Real Deal showed up all 3. First round was pen heavy. Second round, joke heavy. Third round, foot off the gas a little bit, but you know, he was still dope. And with Times, I felt like his first round was okay, and I was like, all right, like, he'll do okay in this battle, and Real Deal will run away with it. But then the second round, you know, Real Deal had all the eye jokes, and I was dying. I was laughing.
Oh, they were fantastic.
They were freaking-tastic, classic KOTD style comedy. But Times, like, as his round kept progressing, just kept catching heat. Personal stories, street talk, you know, like, everything you want to hear. Super gutter. His delivery is just very crispy and very aggressive, and you can feel the pain that he's going through. Yeah. And then third round, while Real Deal, I personally felt like, you know, the steam was let off a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Times, I felt like as he just clearly took the third. Like, he just, the pain he was expressing, the bars, the conviction, everything was on 1,000. So for me personally, it came down to that second round, because I had Real Deal clear in the first, Times clear in the third, and then the second is like, well, is it going to be jokes or is it going to be the real gutter talk? And I was thoroughly entertained by the jokes as I was the gutter talk. You know what I mean? Right. So it's like, for me, I'm like, however the judges decide to go, I'm not going to be mad at it. But, you know, I'm like, Real Deal is the champ. Like, this is probably going to go to Real Deal. But it ain't got a Real Deal. And with the Times, I was kind of like, whoa, this is wild right here, man. I was shocked.
No, and you know, that's kind of my problem with the judges, simply because it was unanimous decision for and I'm not mad that the judges picked Times.
Right.
It went 4-0.
Yeah.
To Times.
Yeah.
Because the fan vote was fit. I think it's much more fitting of like what the battle.
Yeah.
which was a 52-48%, that
It was a close-ass battle.
down
Yeah.
the middle.
Right?
So damn close. And then so to have all 4 judges go to Real Deal, I'm like, come on, man.
Yeah.
I get it. Those things can happen if it's all in a vacuum, and they're all separated. I like understand that, but yeah, it was a little disappointing to see that. But not mad at the fact that Times won. And this is exactly why I love tournaments, because none of us would have known Times had he not been in this tournament. And here he is. He made a name for himself overnight, and now I think everyone's really excited to see what he's going to do next round.
Absolutely, man. I definitely expected it to maybe be a split decision, because like I said, I was just as entertained by the jokes as I was with the gutter talk from Times, but it is what it is. In a tournament, you live and die by what the judges pick, and that's how the judges saw it.
Yeah.
So, and ultimately, if Times winning is not like, it's no robbery, it's nothing, he totally earned it. But I was just a little surprised that none of the judges had Real Deal.
Yeah.
So that was kind of surprising. But it was a interesting week. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah.
This week we move on to the West Coast round 2, man. Round 2.
Round 2, man. And like this is what I was saying. Even though I didn't agree with a lot of the decisions that came out of the West Coast,
mm-hmm.
I'm excited for the matchups for every division.
Yep.
I bet you 25% of the decisions I didn't agree with. Some were bigger deals than others, like Real Deal versus Times. I would have gone Real Deal, but the fact Times won, not that big a deal.
Right.
They still did really good. So in this case, though, obviously I thought Frack beat Disaster, as did just about everyone else. But I'm actually a lot happier we have Disaster versus Thesaurus as opposed to a Frack versus Thesaurus rematch.
Right. Yeah.
Which was a phenomenal battle for those who haven't seen.
Frack. You're gonna give us the thorough breakdown when we get to that point. Don't spoil it yet, brother. We're gonna save that one for KOTimD and Gene Short's Nation. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But salute to KOTD though for throwing another 2 battles on this card. For keeping it a 4-battle card, and for also bringing out some local talent who needs some more nationwide spotlight. We'll start from the bottom of the card. We have the Kid Clutch versus TK. Tim, you know what I mean? We got that. The Kid Clutch out from Corson, California, Delano. You know what I'm saying?
TK from Los Angeles. No. Las Vegas.
All right.
And, he's another AHAT cat. I think all these guys are pretty much. I think pretty much all these guys are from AHAT. At least done a handful of battles over there. But, anyways, I think Clutch is the clear favorite here just because of experience. He's had like around 40 battles, and he's battled some big names. He just had that battle with
Gage Gotti.
And how'd you think he did?
All right. So if you're watching the battle from the start, you're like, yo, this kid is dope. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's got bars, he's got punches. I like his flow and all that. Like, he's not the most aggressive dude where he's like, bully footing dudes around the ring or anything like that. I mean, he is a smaller guy in stature. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of the times, just visually, you're already kind of like, we'll see what this guy has to bring to the battle. But I thought he was dope, right? Good round. Could have beaten a lot of guys. But man, Gage Gotti turned up on him. And it's like, I don't know how I can watch a guy get killed, but he didn't die, if that makes any sense. Like, he died, but it's like, but he was good. Like, you were good, but still got killed. Like, this is weird. Like, it was a parallel universe to me. I didn't understand what was going on. It's like, Gage out-barred him, out-crypt him, out-gangstered him, talked to his set in the crowd, like, talked about his stature, talked about, his place in the game, and just like big boyed him all around for the whole round. But the Kid Clutch was good, but he still got, like, this was bananas, man. Like, I didn't understand how that happened. And I'm like, I like this kid for the round that I saw. And then all of a sudden, Gage, now you're making me go, why did I think this kid was good? You know what I'm saying? But he is good. That's what's crazy, you know?
Yeah.
But
no, I think they just shows that there's different. There's
levels. There's levels to it. But we got to show the positive side of Clutch also, because him versus Danny was a very good balanced battle where it was like, this was a great back and forth battle. So if you want to watch it, if you want to catch up on a Kid Clutch battle where you want to see where he can take it to, go watch Kid Clutch versus Danny, because Danny did not take it light. He came in for that fight, and Kid Clutch was there for that fight too. Like, he's lyrical. He's got punches. He's got a good delivery. But I feel like some of these guys with the bigger voices, a lot of the times the voices can tend to maybe drown them out a little bit. And the more aggressive battle rappers take advantage of the fact that they have more aggression versus him, you know, so it can look and sound a certain way. But, you know, when you're breaking down his ability to rap, like, he's really good, you know, so that is a battle that you guys need to go and watch. I definitely agree with you, though, man, with the experience factor and the lyrics and delivery and all that. I have Kid Clutch winning this battle versus TK, you know, but like I say to all the other guys, man, how many people outside of the Western region know about TK or have heard about TK on a casual level? Not that many. So this is a great opportunity to make your name known. So TK, take full advantage of this, brother. Take full advantage of it.
Yeah, and you know what's kind of surprising? Most people don't know this, but Kid Clutch and TK actually was scheduled to battle on URL.
Oh, okay.
2 years ago on Traffic 2 PG card.
All right.
Didn't go down for whatever reason. And TK, he's fine. You know, he's got some good projection. I really like that about him, but there isn't a lot that separates him from any other battler on the West Coast. And I Kid Clutch, again, I think the experience is going to come into play here. And I think it's going to win this thing kind of clearly. But hey, that's the thing with these tournaments and everything. I mean, we see on a weekly basis the guy we expect to win doesn't win. So who knows? TK could turn up. Exactly,
and that's what we're here for, man. A fire battle. So I'm hoping to see a fire battle, man. Next battle up, my main man, Dre Vicious, straight out of Watts. He's gonna be battling Dot Everything, man. And this might be one of them ones on the card, man. This is a battle that I'm actually looking forward to. Dot Everything has been making his name all throughout the West. He went out to Michigan and battled QP earlier this year in a fire battle. So it's showing you that he's not afraid to travel and take people on in their own backyards. He's battled a handful of notable guys in the past also. And Dre Vicious, man, he is a veteran out here on the West Coast. You've seen him on all the West Coast leagues. A-Hat, you've seen him on West Coast Elites. You've seen him on URL. You know, he was even on the, I want to say the Hollow Danny card also too. He's battled Geechee. Like, he's tested. He's tested, and he's one of those guys where it's like it's long overdue. And talk about two dudes whose conviction and believability is on 1,000. Both of these guys are bringing this to the ring, man. Tim, what do you think about this battle, brother?
Yeah, no. So I got Dre Vicious winning this, but I'm not as excited for this battle.
Okay.
Yeah. No, you know what? Dre Vicious, he doesn't do it for me, man. I mean, he's had like 10 URL PGs, right? Mm-hmm. Which doesn't mean anything, right? But just in the sense that I feel like he's a really well-respected guy in the community. I think the people who know him really like him. I mean, this is why he's battling people like Geechee and on Snoop Dogg's Gladiator School.
Right, yeah.
Like, and I think he's just a very active member in that battle rap community, and people really fuck with him. But man, I just listen to some of his battles, and it's like some of the shit he says, I'm just like, you're a couple of years behind on this stuff. So my personal thing is like, I feel like he's probably really good compared to all the battlers in that city. But once you put him on a national scale, it's hard to level up from that. And I just don't see myself like going out to be like, I gotta watch a Dre Vicious battle. You know what I mean? And the same kind of can be said about Dot Everything. So he's from San Bernardino.
Yes.
You know, and the funny thing about him, it looks like he only has 8 battles. 58,000 views total. 48,000 of those 58 are from the clean paper battle. And
that's crazy.
He wasn't bad in the clean paper,
right.
But man, well, it's the same thing as Kid Clutch versus Geechee, where you're like, okay, you did good. And then the other guy goes, and you're like, holy shit.
Right.
Okay.
The star power and charisma just took over.
Right.
It just took over. And I'm glad that you brought up that point because, like he would say certain bars where you're like, yo, if you're from the streets or know, street elements, you're like, that's true. That's correct. That's 100% a fact. You know what I mean?
Thing I guarantee you is like one of the realest battle rappers to ever fucking do it. Like,
right.
It's just bleeding.
Like when he said, somebody blah, blah, blah. He wasn't expecting that. I went home with a boil on my hip or whatever. And he just asked me where I'm from and stuff like that. And you're like, yo, the fact that he said he went home with a boil on his hip, like you already know what that and it's the words that he chose. It was like, yo, I believe this man has been through the stuff that he says he's been through. You know what I'm saying? And when he was like, the rubber band on my beard and stuff like that, so the mask can fit and everything. And you're like, yo, man, like some of these things he's saying is really like 100% on point. You know what I mean? And, he is also a god body, a 5%er. So he does have some knowledge in his bars also. So you hear that influence and he's very flowy. Like when he's rhyming, like there's definitely a rhythm to it. I don't want to say like Big K, you know what I'm saying? But you can definitely hear the flow. Like maybe he wrote this to a beat, but just kind of battle rapped it just a little bit more than just actually straight flowing to a beat with it, but the thing that I will have to say is that versus Dre Vicious knows how to perform. He knows how to project. He knows how to be animated on that stage. So where he may fall behind a little bit in the lyrics, he's going to make up for it in all the other facets in battle rap. And his believability is just the same. Like, I believe everything that this guy is saying. You know what I'm saying? Like, I believe he's been through all the street stuff that you could possibly have gone through being from Watts also. You know what I mean? So I say that to say this, Dot Everything, you're going to have to pick up the stage presence and the performance because you got and some of the bars are going to have to be stepped up to also, Dot Everything. Like, I know like on the West Coast, you guys really support one another. There's a lot of home cooking that goes on. But like you said, Tim, when you step outside of some of those places and that home cooking is not there, some of those bars become evident that they need to be worked on just a little bit more. You know what I mean? So if I had to put money down on this battle, with the overall experience and with the overall stage presence and delivery, if Dre Vicious gets everything out cleanly, because Dre Vicious will surprise you with some of the bars where you're like, that was dope. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So all he has to do is land a few of those per round and do everything else. And visually, all the visual cues, the eye test will say that Dre Vicious should win this battle. You know what I mean? But if Dot Everything wins, will I be shocked? Hell no, because the man can rap, but there's just a few things that he has to work on to level up also. But that's why I'm saying this battle should be a good battle because I feel like they're somewhat evenly matched where both guys can work on a couple of things, but just from the pure gangster element and the believability element, like I'm looking forward to this one happening. I think it should be a dope battle, and I'm slightly by the thinnest of hairs edging Dre Vicious out in this battle. But I want to see a good fight, fellas. Like I want to see a good fight. Like, let's make this happen, you know?
Yeah. The one thing with Dot, everything I want to, I'd like to see him improve upon is his projection.
Yes.
Because I feel like his voice isn't really there.
Right.
And
Same thing with Clutch.
Yeah, yes.
I know you can't help your voice, but try to help your voice. I don't know how you're going to do it, but try. You know what I'm saying?
So I think with that, I mean, with Dot, it's again, I mean, he hasn't been battling for very long, so it's just something that's going to come with time and whatever, and get more comfortable with it, and just something that you work with. But yeah, man, I think the one thing you can't work on is your believability, and that's something you either have or you don't have. And Dot and Vicious have it, but I feel like Dot, it like really comes out of him, and so in that sense, I mean, he's got a step ahead of everyone. So it's just some of those other intangibles he's got to like work on. And to go, man, I could see him going far.
Absolutely. It's like the quiet guy versus the loud guy. You know?
Yeah.
Definitely. All right, man. Now, the guys who were actually in the tournament battling for the 50K. Active versus Saint. Active defeated Caustic to move on to the second round, and Saint defeated RX to move on to the second round. Tim, I'm going to take the lead on this one, man. I think this battle is going to be 100% clear. Saint is going to be the winner. Saint is the better rapper. Saint has the better punches. Saint is clean. He's not going to choke. He's not going to stumble. He's going to hit me with some bars that I'm not even expecting. He's very creative. His wordplay is dope. His punches are really dope, man. I just cannot see a way that Active can win this battle.
So, yeah, I'm the exact same way. The one thing, since we're talking about judge battles here at the West, do we have any idea who is doing any of the judging? Is it the same guys from last time? Is it
well, all right. I know that there's going to be 2 new judges. One of them will be Nico from KOTimD, you know, Mr. Hidden Characters himself, and Ben Swayze, a.k.a. KOTB, will be a remote judge for these battles also. I mean, that's what they said. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I've been told. You know, if things change last second, please don't kill the messenger. You know what I'm saying? Because stranger things have happened before. But I know that those 2 are supposed to replace 2 of the judges. I'm not sure which 2 they're replacing. I mean, I might have an idea in my head, but I will wait and see tomorrow, you know, when the judges are announced, or if they announce it later today.
That's great. Those are 2 really credible judges. Nico obviously knows his shit.
Yeah.
You know, I do want to say I was disappointed with some of the judging that had happened last weekend in Detroit, simply because
talk to me. Yeah.
You had Ledge from Top Tier Podcast in the building, right?
Yeah.
He reached out to him and said, "Hey, come to our event," right? So they know who he is. Why the fuck wasn't he judging? You know what I mean? And they got Chanel or whatever.
Shell Bell, your boy's manager, former manager. Danny Myers' former manager. Yeah. She managed Danny Myers in the past. She managed Miss Hustle. I want to say Jay Huggins and a couple of other battlers. And, bro, I'm 100% with you. I mean, listen, we love the ladies, women power and all that. Like, I'm all for it. But Shell, I felt like you were doing a little too much. I felt like the attention to what was going on wasn't 100% there, you know, and the fact that you were saying that people are saying that it's a robbery for the Real Deal versus Times battle, when literally no one said that. Everyone was like, this is such a close battle. I'm glad it's a great battle. And then you said that they were saying that in the chat, but you weren't in the chat because you admitted yourself that you just started looking at what people are saying in the chat. And one of these guys is going to take me home and give me a piece of that 50K. I wore the leggings just for this. And I'm like, sister, come on now. What are we doing? This ain't the time for all that. Not to say that, hey, you couldn't have been super objective in these battles, but for me, I like to see people zoned in, tuned in, locked into these battles. Not talking about how wearing the leggings and having a big old booty is going to make one of these guys want to take you home and split up the 50K with you.
What the fuck?
That's not what I want to hear from a judge. You know what I'm saying?
And the thing is I literally cannot think of a better judge for Detroit battle rap than Ledge. And you bring them to the building, but yet you don't have, I don't know, maybe Ledge declined or something. I don't know.
They didn't ask him.
Oh my God, that drives me.
And I was thoroughly disappointed. I'm like, all right, so you brought someone who's from Louisville, Kentucky to come and be a judge, but you have someone who's super dedicated to this art form. I mean, salute to Ledge. Him and Nico just went live on Caffeine right now. Follow them for the Friday Fix on Top Tier Podcast on Caffeine. It is a fire show. Fire show. Two of my favorite guys to watch. So please, if you guys are listening to this, go follow them now. Go watch them every Friday at noon. I couldn't have thought of a better judge. He would have been perfect. He would have been impartial. He would have been locked in, zoned in. He's got no picks, and he would have called it right down the middle. He's going to catch everything. I just couldn't believe it. I would hope that maybe the second go round, maybe they can be like, hey, you know what? We're going to bring Ledge in for this round, too, because he definitely needs to be one of those judges. I couldn't think of a better judge, especially someone who is in Detroit already.
Right? Anyways.
Yeah.
So all right. So sorry to talk about Detroit. I just had to get that out.
No, it's all good, brother. That's what we're here for. That's what they're here for. If they're here at an hour and 11 minutes still listening to us two still going on, I'm pretty sure they're like, touche. You know what I mean?
So let me talk about the judging for the West Coast, because here's one thing I want to bring up. We didn't cover the first week, right?
No.
But here's the thing. Obviously, once Frack lost, everyone was like, who are these judges? They looked into it and they're like, these are Crack City guys. What the fuck? How is this happening?
Right.
And everyone talks about, how this was a robbery for Frack and Disaster. What everyone is missing is, who else is in Crack City? Fucking Active is.
Yeah.
Active. The same guy who had a debatable battle against Caustic, and somehow voted unanimously for Active. So what the fuck,
And that battle was debatable.
It was definitely a debatable battle.
It was definitely debatable. So I'll say this, right? The fact that Active won the battle is not like, oh my God, I can't believe it. Because it wasn't like Caustic was amazing. All right. Let's be 100% honest. Caustic was not amazing in that battle.
Was not amazing.
Neither was Active. So I could see the battle being, 50-50. But 4-0 Active? That was a little crazy.
With chokes in 2 rounds.
I don't know, bro. I don't know, man. It was a little crazy, man. Anyway. All I'm going to say is if he chokes, Ben Swayze, he's going to pack him up, B. He's going to pack him up.
And that's why I love that, Ben is there. Because you know what? Regardless of, whether you agree or disagree, he will at least be able to explain why. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That's all I fucking want from a judge. I don't need to agree with you every time, but I at least got to understand why you chose what you chose.
Absolutely. And Nico is not afraid to go, it's all California, but even when Cali natives battle outsiders, Nico's not afraid to tell you lost, all right, or you got killed, or you were a hidden character this battle. He's not afraid to do that. So I'm totally fine with those two guys. I don't know who the other 2 judges are going to be. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know how that's going to go, but I do know that I can count on those 2 gentlemen no matter how this goes. Yep. So that's definitely an improvement.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so sorry. That's all I really had to say with that. I agree with you 100%. Saints going to win this. Can't see Active pulling this out.
Word. And now, Tim, the floor is going to be all yours for this. You are Mr. KOTimD. You are Mr. Jean Shorts Nation in the flesh yourself. You go back with these guys. You know everything about these. You have transcribed so many of these guys' battles on Genius. Tim, please take the floor. Give us a little history lesson of Disaster versus Thesaurus, and then bring us up to date and give us your prediction on how this battle will turn out, my brother. This is a history lesson, y'all. Get your pipes, youngins, and put the tobacco in there and light it up. Let's go. Get your corn husks.
Man, I wasn't prepared for the history lesson, but let's see what I can swing up here. All right, so this was Disaster versus Thesaurus. This is going to be a rematch, right? Because when they first battled, this was Battle of the Bay 2. So November 2008, dude. We're 12 years later.
A dozen of them things.
And so what's so wild about this, at the time, Thesaurus, undefeated, no one ever beat this guy. He's coming off of Scribble Jam and Tourette's Without Regrets and everything West Coast affiliated. Thesaurus is seen as a god.
Mr. Two times everything.
2 times everything, right? Right?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. Him and Thesaurus, or him and Ilmac on their win and everything. So it's crazy because around this same time, people are talking about this guy from the battle rap league, The Pit, right? And so this guy Disaster, who's 18 or something, going around smoking fools, and he's super, super intense, super loud, really funny, great wordplay, all this shit.
And Middle Eastern, so that's like, where'd that come from? Yeah.
But at this point, Disaster doesn't really have any battles on cam.
Right.
And so he gets one, and he gets it with Thesaurus. And Disaster will be the first to tell you, he was enamored. He couldn't believe he was battling Thesaurus. He's like, holy shit. And at one point, during the battle, Thesaurus laughs at one of his lines, and it threw Disaster off because he's like, holy shit. Thesaurus thought what I said was funny.
Right.
Oh my God. You know what I mean? And so the battle goes on, and I think the judges give it to Disaster, but it's pretty much seen as that shouldn't have happened that way.
So some things never change over the course of time.
Exactly. So what's funny is this is going to be a rematch to kind of set that straight a little bit. I mean, you know what this kind of reminds me of, and hopefully we have a better outcome. It kind of reminds me of Head Ice versus Cortez.
Ooh,
where they have a battle at the beginning of their careers, kind of, and then as things would have it, 10 years later, they're meeting up again in a judge battle.
Right. Yeah.
So this time, how it's going to go down, I don't know. I talked about it a little bit last week with the judges and how Disaster has. He's got an uphill battle because he is going to have to prove that he deserved to win last week. I think people kind of want retribution, a little bit of karma, and so they want Disaster to lose because he shouldn't be here in the first place. And Thesaurus, I thought Thesaurus did great last week last month.
Fantastic, bro. Fantastic.
Yeah. Netflix. I was really, really impressed. I was like, this is vintage Thesaurus. So I'll be really surprised if Disaster wins. He's just got too much of an uphill climb.
Yeah.
And Thesaurus, I think it has so many angles. That's the thing about going against Disaster. You have so many different fucking things to pick them apart on. And Thesaurus knows Disaster so well, he's going to have new angles. So, yeah, man.
It's great. Yeah, it's going to be crazy, man.
And if it goes down to the fan vote, I don't care if Thesaurus chokes all three. He's going to win 85% of that fucking fan vote, dude. Guarantee it.
Yo, listen, I couldn't have said it better, man. Disaster is going to have to be Super Saiyan mode. Like he's going to have to go whatever best disaster you can think of. He's going to have to do that times 2 to erase the stench of the decision from the first round and to prove to people like, no. I'm clearly head and shoulders above this. And at this point in time, I just don't know if Disaster has the energy for this anymore. Like at right now, you know what I'm saying? Like, but then again, maybe he's like, yo, you know what? Damn, man, the first round, like I really messed up. I let so many people down. Like, you know, I didn't bring my best, and I know Thesaurus is going to try to kill me, and I really have to like try to outwit this guy and prove that I'm better. So I'm really hoping that Diz really steps his game up because, like you said, man, he's fighting an uphill battle, and he's behind the 8 ball right now. Like, you know, he's really gonna have to be amazing to clearly win this battle. And like you said, man, Thesaurus knows how to angle guys. He's got the classic style already, and he proved that he was rejuvenated versus Madflex. Like he really brought out one of the best versions of Thesaurus that we've seen in a very long time. Because let's keep it real, he's been stumbly here and there. Some of the material has sounded dated here and there. Some of it has been really fire over the course of time too. But at the same time, between the stumbles and the kind of swings and misses, but he put it all together versus Madflex. And now you're giving him a whole aspect of, I got robbed the first time, you robbed Frack, and now, you know, you're giving him new angles to work with. And I'm going to edge Thesaurus in this battle, man. I think he's going to want retribution from the first go round. And on top of that, I just think that he's just a little bit hungrier right now, man. Like, you know, so I'm going with Thesaurus in this one, but I think we're going to get a much better version of Disaster than we did in the first round because we know Diz, man. Diz loves battle rap. Like, he bleeds battle rap. And, you know, we've seen him perform well. When he battled Danny Myers, he went crazy. Like, he was mad dope all 3 rounds, and he had a super long-ass Murder Mook third where he was jumping from universes and parallel parking and stuff like that and everything. So I know that Diz still has it. You know, so I feel like maybe he knows that Thesaurus and him come from the same, you know, background, the same class, the same kind of era, the same, you know, generation. And when I say that, you know, I just mean that they've been progressing along together. Like they've been on this grind time / KOTD ride together. You know what I'm saying? Right. And I feel like he's going to up the respect, whereas maybe versus Frack, he didn't have that same respect. Maybe, Frack is a newer guy and he doesn't come from the era that I come from. He's a privileged dude from up in Northern Cali or whatever. Like, I don't have to, I'm just going to punk him and I'm going to win. Whereas versus Thesaurus is like, this is not the same situation, man. This is a guy who's seen everything that you've seen, done everything you've done in the battle world. Like, you can't big boy him. Like, you guys both are standing on the same mountaintop, and you guys got to put on your gi, and only one guy is going to be standing on the mountaintop when this thing is over. Right. You know. So I'm hoping that this brings the best out of this out of Disaster. Like, he really needs to make up for that first round. And I'm hoping to see a dog fight, Tim. I'm really hoping to see a dog fight. Yeah. And my Sunday afternoon off in grand fashion, man.
Yeah. I mean, if this ends up not being one of the best battles of the entire tournament,
this should be one of the best battles of the year. Yeah. That's the kind of expectations I'm putting on this battle. Right. Like, I want to see one of the best battles of the year from this battle.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah. Well, Tim, man, we've reviewed we made it. We've reviewed the North Side. And we've previewed the West Coast round 2. For everyone who's made it this far, we thank you. We need you to go and subscribe to our YouTube page. Let's Talk Battle Rap Podcast. So just type in LTBR Podcast, subscribe, hit that 1K so we can start going live on YouTube and doing degenerate stuff like we've been known to do. We need you guys, wherever you're listening to this on, whether it's Spotify or Apple, subscribe, leave us a 5-star rating, drop some comments, all right? Hey, and if you have the time and you're around during the daytime, follow us on Caffeine, caffeine.tv/LTBR podcast. We are on live Monday through Thursdays, 10:30 a.m. to noon. We have your favorite battle rappers on all the time. We got the best breakdowns, the best infographics, the best stats, the best personalities. I mean, man, we are going ham. Think of it as like First Take or Undisputed meets The Breakfast Club, all right? You get insight into your favorite artists. We talk about more than just the battles. They get a lot personal. We find out a whole bunch of things about these people. You know what I mean? So once again, that's caffeine.tv/LTBR podcast. Follow Tim the Genius on Twitter at Don't Tweet Much. That's right. You may not see him tweeting much, but he's out there, all right? And follow me on all socials at Program V. All right, man. And I hope you guys really get a chance to enjoy the battles this weekend. I hope you guys have been thoroughly entertained once again. It is always our pleasure to bring you these KOTD Grand Prix reviews and previews every weekly, every Friday. So continue to tune in and support us. And if you want to leave a little something for your boys, hit that Cash App, man. $LTBR podcast. All right. We can use all the shekels you guys can pull out. All right. So once again, man, Tim, this has been great catching up with you again, my brother. And I can't wait to do this one again, bro Ham.
Let's do it again next week, bud.
Yes, sir. Have a good one, player.
Hey, you too.
Peace.